Is it upper light too much light?
No, it's just right. It's just right. So
right.
the camera's running now. So tell me, what is your name?
My name is Ruby Elizabeth Weber.
Really?
So now all the nice people call me Miss Beth, Miss whatever.
Uh-huh. And what's your maiden name?
Sharp.
Sharp? Uh-huh. And who are your parents?
John Henry Dewey Sharp. And Pearl, I don't know if Pearl had a middle name or not. Sauter.
Sarter.
Yeah, like sort of good and sort of bad. No, she was a nice lady.
She was. She was.
A nice lady.
Uh-huh. And what is today?
Today is a beautiful day.
What's the date of today?
I don't know the date of the day, but it's something around July.
Right.
And it's Saturday.
Uh-huh. July 28th, 2015.
Oh, you know some stuff.
That's right. And when were you born?
I was born the 31st of January, 1926.
1926.
Yeah.
And what do you remember from your earliest childhood?
I don't remember being born.
You don't?
No. It's sort of out of my realm.
Uh-huh.
But I do remember my childhood, spurts of it.
Like
We
what?
lived in Thibodeau one time.
Thibodeau? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we lived in Thibodeau. Probably for a week, I don't know.
Oh.
And I don't know where.
Mm-hmm.
But Daddy used to go frog hunting. and we lived along the bayou somewhere. I don't know whether we lived in a tent or a house. That I don't remember. I just remember. And it must have been for a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived on Franklin Avenue.
On Franklin Avenue in New Orleans?
In New Orleans. That was close to the Rampart Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Franklin Avenue ran all the way up. And then we lived on Franklin Avenue, 3901.
3901 Franklin Avenue.
And we lived next door to Capito's school. It was an elementary school. Went kindergarten to 8th grade. In 8th grade we had a big graduation and I got a new dress.
Huh? And you went to Capito?
Yeah, I went to Capito. And earlier in my life, between going to Garay School.
To what school?
Garay.
Garay?
Garay is close to, on Franklin Avenue, close to Rampart.
Uh-huh, so that was
in that direction. That's not the right streets, but...
Uh-huh, so that's an elementary school?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Garay for kindergarten.
Uh-huh.
And the couple next door were from South America somewhere, or something to do with South America. And they had 7 girls, and they also had a chauffeur. So the chauffeur took me to grammar school when I was in Garay.
Wow.
Yeah. And Doris Ann Laveris was her name.
Doris Ann Laveris was the name of your friend?
The name of my friend.
Huh. And what grade was that?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
My goodness. So that would have been like 1928 or 9?
Something like that.
Wow.
And that's why the little pink chair and the little pink...
Table?
Table.
Yeah.
Pa made those while we lived there.
Uh-huh. I remember that little pink chair.
Yeah.
And that little pink table.
They're still around.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what else do you remember from those days?
There was a tornado that hit but it hit across the street. It didn't hit us at all.
In New Orleans?
Uh-huh. And those people had a chauffeur, and lived across the street from where we lived.
Uh-huh.
And this was on Franklin Avenue.
Wow.
And but it's just spurts that I remember. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, after you graduated from Capto, where did you go to school?
I went to McMain.
To where?
McMain.
McMain High School.
McMain High School.
Right. On Claiborne and Nashville, is it? Jefferson?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there? Mm-hmm.
And it was a new school. It had only been open a year or so.
Uh-huh.
And so it was quite nice. And we couldn't wear lipstick. And Miss, I can't think of her name, but the principal would get after us if we had lipstick on.
Uh-huh.
But we couldn't wear lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't wear uniforms, but we had gym suits
Mm-hmm.
that we had to put on to wear for gym. I don't remember a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was an all-girl,
Mm-hmm.
and went there until I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And at 16, I graduated from
McMain.
McMain, and I was in the school play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You were an actress?
No, I was the man in the play.
Oh. You an actor?
Yeah. And after Easter every year, people would come back to school and show off their tans that they'd gotten over on the Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we didn't quite get to go to the Gulf Coast.
Uh-huh.
But it was always exciting to go back to school.
Right. Mm-hmm.
To see everybody. And then, of course, an opening outfit when you went back to school, September.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have penny parties.
What was the penny party?
You would go to somebody's house and they'd have a party, and you'd pay a penny for I guess, drinks or candy bars or...
Mm-hmm.
Not a big candy bar. It would be a little something.
A little bite-sized one.
I don't remember what we got for the penny. But it was a penny party.
Uh-huh.
And would be at different people's houses.
Huh.
Like on the weekend.
Never heard of a penny party. Hmm.
Yeah.
I just heard of pity parties.
Yeah, they had those too.
Okay.
And I took piano lessons.
Oh, yeah?
Mizikiki.
Mm-hmm.
And I played piano. Every weekend I take lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't the greatest piano player. But I played enough that I loved to sing.
Right.
And I could play and I could sing the songs I wanted to. Nobody else could tell me about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Were you in any athletics in high school?
no, we used to pick four-leaf clovers. See if we could find those. That was the athletic session.
Picking four-leaf clovers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I used to skate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have parties from church. We'd go to Dio's house and skate out in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you'd have punch or something.
Uh-huh.
But that was our young people's group would do things like that.
At church?
the church group.
Right, and that was Gentilly Presbyterian
Yeah.
on the corner of Gentilly and Franklin. Just about 4 blocks from your house?
I think it was 5.
Okay.
And also interesting, I used to sing in the choir. And on Thursday night, I'd walk home from the church by myself in the dark and never think a thing of it. But nowadays, you wouldn't quite think about doing that.
No, you wouldn't do that on Franklin Avenue.
Not many places, would you?
Right. So what else did you do in high school? What kind of student were you?
Lousy.
Lousy?
I wasn't. I was just a mediocre student. I think I did school. And Mom used to get mad at me. And Nolie Dutton was a disarranged girl. Was in my class in Capstone. And the boys took advantage of her in the boat closet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And didn't take advantage of me, but did. And Mama would call me Nolie Dutton.
Oh.
I would work on my homework and I wouldn't get it right. And she said, "All right, Nolie, come on, Nolie. You can do that." And she gets so unhappy with me because I didn't do well. Yeah. And I don't remember not being able to remember understand what's going on. I don't remember having trouble. But I didn't do real exorbitant well.
Well, what were your favorite subjects?
Lunch.
Lunch?
I don't remember having a favorite subject. We'd read a lot and then talk about it. We had math. Oh, and we had this one teacher it was popular where you had a roll here. And I dreamed she had roaches on her hose. And I haven't forgotten that dream. There was a grocery store half block away. I'd have to walk down the street and get a loaf of bread or a piece of I call it steak, but it's not steak. I'll think of it. But I go get one piece of food that we need. Mom would just send me to the store to get it.
And the store was on Franklin Avenue?
The store was in the half block down from Franklin Avenue. Jonquil Street was a side street. It was on Jonquil.
Jonquil.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of who it was. Over at the butcher shop. When on Sundays we take a nickel that we're supposed to put in the basket and lock it and buy ice cream. But it didn't do much that. I usually gave the church my money.
So the nickel was supposed to go to church, but you bought some ice cream with it.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Pa calling you Dynamite.
Always.
What's the story behind you being named Dynamite?
Daddy, of course, lost his job during the Depression. And
Lost his job doing what?
As an engineer for the government.
He was a civil engineer for the government.
Yeah. And they had sent him up to Alexander to do some, build the Red River or something to do with the Red River. And Daddy made this place for us to live, a trailer. Or you don't call them trailers anymore. You call them, anyway. And it was fixed so that Mama and I could go and spend the summer with him and stay in this trailer. And they would have to blow things up with dynamite to get them. And every time they'd go to blow something up, they'd find me sitting on the dynamite.
So you were sitting on the dynamite, and that's why he named you Dynamite.
Yeah. And they all just started calling me Dynamite. And it seemed to fit.
Well, you've been Dynamite ever since.
Yeah, always will be. Don't know what I'm doing, but it's all right. I realize that I'm not as able as I used to be. And that grieves me. So I have to make fun of it.
Well, sure. Well, you're 89 years old. I think you're entitled, right?
And getting older.
And getting older. So Pa was an engineer, and he lost that job, and then what did he do?
He sold orange juice. The bottle of orange juice, like pop. And he traveled Florida. And Mama and I traveled with him. And we would go to, here I am losing the words I want again. Go to rent a place to spend the night.
A motel?
Yeah. And he would stop every night and go in and examine the place to see if it was nice enough for us. Because we had very little money. And he wanted to make sure it was clean enough for us. And that's where we would. And my entertainment was I had a ball, and we'd stop on the pavement of the street while he would go in and talk to the business people. I would bounce him a ball outside. And I made myself perfectly happy. And we did that in the summertime. And also we lived up the Red River in summertime. And those winter food, we had to come home to. We had the house on Franklin Avenue, so so we came back to that. And well, I went to Carre. I just went back to school. As far as that, I can't remember any big deal about that. But I do remember they worried a lot. Because we didn't have any money.
And that was during the Depression?
During the Depression.
What was it like during the Depression?
We had to be very careful. And you didn't spend any money. And I remember men would ride the railroad track and go to a different city. And like they would come to the house on Franklin Avenue, they'd ring the doorbell and said, "Would you please have some food?" And Norma would make up a meal and sit them on the steps with a plate so that they could have a supper to eat. And they were very grateful. We never locked the door. We never closed the window. Everything stayed open and above. And we didn't have a problem. And that's really unusual.
Yeah. So what did Pa do during the Depression?
He took a job as a laborer. And he worked at the filling station. And
A gas station.
Gas station. He worked as a milkman from 2 o'clock in the morning till 6 or 7 o'clock, something like that, delivering milk. And then he worked from 6 o'clock to something else as a repair worker at a filling station.
At a filling station.
Yeah.
Now, was he a mechanic at the gas station?
I think he fixed tires and
Oh,
he did everything. And even as things got better, we would always go down there to have things done on the car. And you see, my memory could be cuckoo too.
That's okay. That's
But
okay.
My daddy and my mama worked hard. And I need to appreciate everything they've done for me.
Right. Well, I remember Ma was a school teacher, but was she always a school teacher?
Oh, that was way after.
Okay. What did she do first?
That was after I got to high school. She during the wars where she got to go to work.
Okay. Well, I'm coming to that in a few minutes. But what did she do when you were a little girl? Was she staying at home with you or what?
Yeah, she stayed at home with me. And I remember one birthday, Lida brought me a new dress.
Lida is your aunt, Lida Sarter, who is Pearl's sister. Right.
And she would come to visit us.
From Gulfport.
From Gulfport on the train. And spend the summer or a week or two. And then for my birthday, she had me to come to Gulfport. And she gave me a dress. And she had some little girls from a school where she taught, who were about my age, over to be with me to have lunch or to have ice cream. I don't know what we did. But to entertain me. And I never will appreciate that little dress any more than you can believe. And come to the dresses, you had one dress, one good dress. And that was it.
That was it. All the girls just had one dress.
For dress up. And all the girls I went with.
Yeah.
Had one dress. And we got along very well. We didn't have any luxuries. We could go to the movie for a dime. And so we could go to the movie anytime we wanted. And Daddy then got a job after all that other mess. He got a job with the city politicians. Next door was Captain Smith. And he was a high-minded in politics. And he's the one that hired Daddy. And some of this period of time, I can't recall, well, we still lived in that house on Franklin Avenue, and he still had that house. He still worked with Captain Smith. I can't say he actually worked for, but he got him a job with the government.
With the city or the state?
I don't know whether the city or the state, but eventually he got it with the state.
Right. He was with Department of Agriculture under Dave Pierce.
Right.
The commissioner, yeah.
Right.
And what did he do there?
He sold feed fertilizer.
He sold it or he inspected it?
He inspected it.
And didn't he inspect for poisons also, like DDT and things?
And he'd bring home some of the samples that after he'd check them and kill our weeds and feed the grass with some of his, not a lot of stuff, but little tidbits of stuff. But he always said he checked feed and fertilizer. And he went all over the state, and they loved him. He'd go to one place and he'd give him a cup of coffee, and then he'd go to another city and have another cup of coffee. And he would report to Baton Rouge. I can't remember if it was Friday or if it was Monday. But he had to go back to Baton Rouge on Monday, I know.
I thought he went on Sunday afternoons.
Well, it was to get me back to school at LSU.
Oh, Oh, wait, we hadn't gotten there yet, but okay.
I'm getting tired.
All right, well, we still haven't covered the war, and we haven't covered LSU, and then meeting Stan, and we got a lot left to do.
I'm not sure I got enough energy, but we've
All right. Well, let's go back to high school. So you went to McMain, and you graduated from McMain, and then you went to LSU. Well, tell us about LSU.
Well, I went there for summer school. I had gone to Dominican the year after I got out at
McMain?
McMain.
Yeah.
Because I was president of the Presbyterian Young People in New Orleans. And I had to be in town for that. So I came in. So for 1 year, I was a Dominican. And that was very delightful. And then not spectacular though. And then summertime came in, so they sent me to summer school to sort of catch up and get everything. And I took water ballet, and I did. I don't know what all I took. Horse management or something. But I didn't do well. I didn't do horrible of it. I didn't make any special points. So all I know was I made it to the next level. And I started with that. And then in January, the next year, I became very ill. And as it turned out, it was my appendix. But I was going with Stan when that happened right after I had to leave school because I was not well.
So that's when you met Pop.
Well, I didn't meet him. I knew him all along. I knew him since I was a kid.
Okay.
And
did you go to school together or just church?
We went to Garay.
Garay?
No.
No?
C.A. Capto.
Capto.
C.A. Capto. We went to school there. And somewhere along the line, earlier than that, Stan and I both went to Gentile Terrace. For maybe a very short time.
Gentile Terrace Elementary School.
Elementary school.
Right.
Yeah.
Not far from your Music Street house.
Right. And then we moved to Franklin Avenue.
Franklin Avenue?
3901 Franklin Avenue.
Oh, okay. I thought you already were living on Franklin Avenue.
Not when we went to
Gentilly Terrace?
Gentilly Terrace.
Okay, so you moved to 3901 Franklin, and then at some point you moved to 4476 Music Street.
Oh, but that was after we were all married and had children.
Oh, okay, okay.
Everything.
Okay. So tell us how you and did you used to call him Jerry?
No, I didn't.
No?
No.
Other people called him Jerry?
His mama did.
His mama did.
And Alta.
Mm-hmm. Alta Pierce.
Yeah.
Right.
Called him Jerry. But he didn't like Jerry. So.
What did he want to be called?
Stan.
Stan? Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I'm getting tired.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, you knew him all along,
and we knew him all along, and we were going to young people's meeting,
mm-hmm.
and it was a Christmas Eve,
mm-hmm.
and that's when the soldiers would catch the bus on the corner of Gentilly Boulevard
in Franklin. Mm-hmm.
And after church, young people were going to go caroling.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting ready to go caroling, and I said, I feel so sorry for these young men who are away from home and have no place to go on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided I would be the one to go down and invite them to personally come with me to go caroling.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the young girls didn't do that. But they decided to come and go caroling with us. And I got sort of like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to, right now I can't think of the name. But anyway, I went over to her, who was the date of Stanley's.
Mm-hmm.
And they were ready to go Christmas caroling. And I grabbed him, and I said, "You're going with me." And I pulled him, and he left us sitting on the church steps. So then we went caroling, and we went to the Catholic Church for midnight mass.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't never going back to midnight mass again. But we've been going to church ever since. We had gone to young people's meetings together before. Mm-hmm. Our parents were friends. Mama and Betty used to go in the same circle,
mm-hmm.
the church and
mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta be quick because I'm getting tired.
Okay, so what happened? How did the romance start after your Christmas?
Oh, well, who could resist me?
Oh, that's true. Who could resist you? Okay. So you dated for a long time?
No.
No?
No, that was January.
Mm-hmm.
And February, and then I had my appendix out, and I got well, and he graduated from high school.
Mm-hmm.
And meantime, we had fallen madly in love.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married that fall.
What year was that?
1942.
Mm-hmm.
And
the war was going on.
But the war was going on. And our family said that we could get married, but wait till the war was over.
Yeah.
Because they were afraid we'd have babies and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said, as soon as the war's over, you can get married. Well, bless Pat, all of a sudden, one August day, somebody dropped a bomb, and the war was over.
In August of 1945.
And
so you got married in September.
He said, "We're ready to get married."
Mm-hmm.
So we got married in September. So that's how that happened. And of course, they said it would never last.
Oh yeah?
It would never last.
I guess they were wrong about that.
So here we are, still 70 years.
70 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know I was that old. Goodness gracious.
Well, that sure is a good story, Granny. Anything else you want to say before I shut off the camera? Any other recollection?
I'm sorry, I got a lot of them. But right now I'm getting tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Not necessarily sleepy, just tired.
okay. Well, I'm going to show this to your great-grandchildren. Is there anything you want to say to them? Your great-grandchildren.
No, I was going to come up with something positive. Who the hell do you think he came from?
And that's how you want them to remember you.
Scratch that.
Scratch that, okay.
Scratch that.
All right, we'll
Out of
edit that.
season.
Right, okay.
No, I just, my grandkids, I hope remember me as being happy and looking forward to them.
Looking forward to them what?
They're living a happy life.
Good, okay, like you have.
Yes.
Because you've had a long and happy life.
I've had a very happy, very long, and very fortunate life.
Right.
Because I've been swimming in the lake and then riding. Oh, we had ice skates in the auditorium in the summertime. You know, we ice skated in New Orleans.
The Municipal Auditorium.
And, and I've had a good time everywhere. So, just keep on plugging.
Okay.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
That's you said it.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.